the discreet charm of the performer. I think it's the willingness to get to the willingness to make yourself vulnerable or to be judged. I mean, I asked my friend, why do we do this? You know, you make yourself crazy before show, and you go, you know, I could be having a regular job or just that. And she said, well, it's because it's a compulsion. It's a compulsion. You just have to do it. For who knows why, but you have to do it.
But I also think that people, you know, in just sort of the 4 years or 5 years we've been performing together, there have been a couple instances when we went somewhere and it became very controversial. And one place that invited us, we got there, it was called 21C, it's this sort of art hotel in the United States. And we got there and we started performing, and then the press got, well, actually both incidents had to do with the press getting a hold of Annie's history as a sex worker. And it turned out that at this it was a very, you know, suave place, right? And we were there to help them celebrate their year of living dangerously. And it turned out that there was a senator was going to be attending and you know, part of the festivities, and his handlers freaked out because we were there. We were going to do this piece called Cuddle, where we cuddle people for 7 minutes between us. It's a very sweet piece. I mean, it is sweet, you know, like sweet and innocent, you know. But this senator's handlers freaked out that our bodies might touch this guy, right? Or that the Republicans, this guy was a Democrat, right? Who's supposedly the more liberal political party in the United States. But they got wind that perhaps we would touch this guy, and that was like, no, 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 no. So we were in Kentucky at this restaurant, or this hotel, and this senator, you know, freaks out because Annie's, you know, performing. We're performing together.
It's a big art hotel.
It's a big art hotel. But anyhow, we were going to do the cuddle piece that night, and the hotel canceled the cuddle piece. And the senator did not come to the thing, right? And then they had this horrible dance where these two people were doing very bad ballet, but it was very lewd. It was as if they were making love. And they weren't naked, they just had these bodysuits on, and it was so gross. And we were just, so that happened. But then we were in Norway this summer, and we were protested by these feminists. Again, you know, over sort of Annie's past history as a prostitute. But they were so rabidly anti what we were doing, you know, and it was just ridiculous. Anyhow,
they thought they were anti.
So sometimes our work it is a little risky. And we also got tagged by a neo-Nazi while we were in Norway. And that was kind of...
Tag meaning they spray painted a big Jewish star
on the window where we were performing and wrote the word Jew, and then ran off. It was a guy in a ski mask. It was quite scary. Yeah. So there's some real risk.
She's doing work about mountaintop removal, and those people, the coal companies, scary.
Yeah.
So this project she's starting, and we're moving into this environmental theme. Tonight was the premiere of our environmental theme.
But it's quite dangerous.
It is dangerous.
I mean, we went to look at a site this summer where the mountaintop removals happen, and the guy that took us up there, he keeps a gun in his car, he keeps a video camera on his dashboard, he has a very special telephone that will call from anywhere. And this summer we went to his house, and there are bullet holes all in his house, and he found his dog hanging from a tree by a rope where the coal company, some thug from the coal company came and tried to kill his dog. And you know, it's very disturbing because they're really destroying the environment of this very beautiful place.
They ask what is the risk of performance. It's pretty minimal, like this risk performing here. Why, so you fall, you make a fool of yourself, minimal. You know, there's lots of people that take much bigger risks.
This is true.
You know, it's people who they're kind of life artists, like this guy who's protecting this mountain in the middle of the coal companies, you know, and revolutionaries and people in war. I mean, performance art. Although I've never seen the film of Chris Burden getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
Yeah.
I might have seen it, but I don't remember seeing it. That was pretty brave because the guy could have missed.
Well, I think he did miss. I think the original plan was that he was not going to hit him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm very serious.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And then from that piece, one of Chris Burden's students at UCLA
Oh my God,
last
really?
year did a piece where he played Russian roulette with a gun, and the gun was really loaded. And it upset Chris Burden, and I mean, that's a direct influence from shoot, according to the student.
Whoa.
Actually, it was in Ron Athey's class. But Chris Burden heard about that and he quit teaching. He just quit teaching. That was it. So I mean,
oh my God.
these things do have reverberations.
I mean, you can, certainly risk getting fired from your job. I mean, Beth has a tenured professor job, but, I mean, we have to...
Well,
I worry
they can't
about
fire
her.
me unless I murder a student and then have sex with them. I'm pretty safe.
Well, I worry about her, getting in trouble at her job or something. Or
We use humor as a discursive strategy a lot. That's something that we do. And we find that it disarms people so that they're more able to hear what we're talking about or to see what it is we're performing.
I think love also is a strategy to,
But love makes a lot of artists angry because it's not intellectual enough, like it's
yeah. People have an aversion to love. Amazing.
Well, it's also been so commodified, at least in the United States, that everything is like, it's like Che Guevara. Do you know who Che Guevara is? And there are all these assholes walking around with Che Guevara shirts, and so they think that they're revolutionaries because they have, some companies making a lot of money making Che Guevara shirts. Some stupid, wannabe revolutionary is wearing this shirt. And I think that happens a lot with love, too, that people have made it into this huge stereotype. And we're trying to peel it away.
So John and Yoko were very good role models for love and working as couples. I mean, there are artist couples like Gilbert and George, which is John and Yoko, Sonny and Cher, Art for All, Gilbert and George. What is our claim? Art for all. Love is all there is. all performance pieces are about love in some way, I suppose.
We don't feel like a sacrifice, but we're the body electric. That's what we are. We're not sacrificing anything. If we were not who we are, we would be sacrificing things.
Is there an author that has had great influence on my book? Gypsy Rose Lee, Xavier Hollander, all the Fluxus artists. We love the Fluxus artists.
I think Joseph Beuys had a big influence on me in terms of social sculpture and really giving permission to people to make art, to do art, to be an artist, and weaving making art with political action and political movements. I think it's hugely important. That was hugely important for me. Vito Conci was very important to me. I mean, we talk about writers, but he was sort of the first kind of experimental performance artist I ever saw, because I grew up in a very rural area, where we didn't have access to really a lot of cultural ideas. And so seeing Vito Conci speak was really huge for me. He really turned something on in me that, was really quite important. And part of it was the way that he talked about language, because he started out as a writer, and he said that the page could no longer contain what it was he wanted to do. So that he had to step off the page in order to make the work he wanted, and there's something about that I quite liked a lot.
For me, it was seeing Deep Throat, the movie Deep Throat, with Linda Lovelace, pornography. Like the first pornography I saw really inspired me to be free. It really did. But it was the 60s and early 70s.